रामचन्द्र रणधीरा रामचन्द्र रघुवीरा रामचन्द्र रणधीरा रामचन्द्र रघुवीरा रामचन्द्र रणधीरा रामचन्द्र रघुवीरा रामचन्द्र रणधीरा रामचन्द्र मम बन्धो रामचन्द्र दय सिन्धु रामचन्द्र मम बन्धो दय सिन्धु रामचन्द्र मम बन्धो रामचन्द्र रघुवीरा रामचन्द्र रणधीरा रामचन्द्र रघुवीर रणधीर रामचन्द्र रणधीरा रामचन्द्र मम बन्धो रामचन्द्र दय सिन्धु रामचन्द्र मम बन्धो रामचन्द्र दय सिन्धु रामचन्द्र मम बन्धो दय सिन्धु रामचन्द्र मम बन्धो रामचन्द्र मम बन्धो दय सिन्धु रामचन्द्र दय सिन्धु रामचन्द्र रघुवीरा रामचन्द्र रणधीरा रामचन्द्र रघुवीर रणधीर रामचन्द्र रणधीरा रामचन्द्र रघुनाथा रामचन्द्र जगन्नाथा रामचन्द्र मम बन्धो रामचन्द्र दय सिन्धु रामचन्द्र रघुवीरा रामचन्द्र रणधीरा. Okay, stop here. Now somebody share your screen. I'll give you the share permissions and let's do the prayer. This new girl is supposed to join today. Sharvi, did she join? Do you know Abha if she joined? I think she's your... All right. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Namo Pankajanabhaya Namo Pankajamaline Namo Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangrahe Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjana Shalakaya चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं सद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवसादि गौर भक्तवृन्दा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we finished chapter 2 in the last class, and I think we can get started with chapter 3. It's not up here, but we'll put it up. So go to vedabase.com or .io and then do chapter 3 there. Okay. I want to go to the Sanskrit. Can you scroll up a little bit? Okay. So what is the name of chapter 3? It's called Karma Yoga. And again, Bhagavad Gita is all about the process of connecting with the Supreme Lord, and any process that enables us to connect with the higher Supreme. Right? That is called yoga. Yoga means something which helps us connect, and the process is the yogic process. And Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about several yogas. The first chapter was basically the setting the scene. The second chapter was Sankhya Yoga, where Lord Krishna answers Arjuna's questions and concerns and about all the reasons that Arjuna gives about why he should not be fighting. And then when Arjuna surrenders to Krishna in verse number 7 of chapter 2, asking him to be his guru, because he says, I'm now surrendered soul unto you, I'm a Sishya to you. Can you please help me? And then that's when Krishna starts speaking, and he clears the vision of every human being. It's not only for Arjuna, but for all of us, that the foundation of the spiritual journey is on the fact that we are not this body, we are the soul. And that information is called Sankhya Yoga, meaning that knowledge also helps us. Sankhya Yoga is the knowledge where it differentiates between the body and the soul, which helps us progress on the spiritual path. So that's one path of yoga. And now Krishna continues to speak, because we are all karmis, meaning we all work on a daily basis. We do different type of activities. We are not transcended or reached a stage where we can just sit quiet and meditate on the Lord without doing any activity, right? We are constantly doing some or the other activity, either with our mind, our words, or with our body. And how to conduct those activities in a way that we can align with Krishna's, align with being stable on the journey of the spiritual path. That is called Karma Yoga. Karma means actions, and yoga means process of connecting. So how do you connect with the Supreme Lord? Through the process of doing various activities in our day-to-day life. Again, Arjuna asked question. Bhagavad Gita is actually a conversation that happens between Arjuna and Krishna. Majority of the verses were spoken by Krishna. However, they're all answers to the questions asked by Arjuna, which means we should have that disposition to ask questions. And questions come only when we are thinking or serious about implementing what we're learning. Even in school, right? When you go to school, whether you do math, whether you do science or any language, Spanish or whatever, you get more questions only when you start trying to learn the subject more. For example, Spanish, right? I don't know how many of you do Spanish, but if you want to get bare minimum grade, you don't have to do much. You just have to probably do a little bit, and then you might be getting passing grade. But if you want to converse in Spanish, if you want to engage in conversation with another person who is an expert in Spanish, or have some writing in Spanish, then you have to definitely ask more questions about how to use it fluently, how to talk fluently or not. Similar with other subjects too, and same with Bhagavad Gita also. This Bhagavad Gita teaches so many arts, art of working, art of giving, art of mind control, then art of loving, then art of relationships management, right? And then the art of good health, maintaining good health, because if you see in 17th chapter, Krishna talks about the various types of food that we can eat, various type of charity that we can engage in, various type of sacrifices that we can engage in. Did we do 17th chapter? We didn't do, right? I don't think we did 17th chapter with this group yet. Did we? No. Okay. So it has, every chapter teaches one art or multiple arts maybe. And throughout the chapters, the invisible thread is that process which elevates our consciousness and connects us with the Supreme. That is the invisible thread. That is the underlying motto behind the entire Bhagavad Gita. Why Bhagavad Gita? To elevate my consciousness. And what does elevated consciousness do? It helps me connect with the divine, with the Supreme. Correct? So here Arjuna is asking this question. Arjuna Uvacha. You should by now be familiar. Uvacha means speaking. Arjuna Uvacha means Arjuna is speaking. That's the word starting with. That means Arjuna is asking the question. So maybe Sahasra, repeat after me. Jyayasi chet karman Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Jyayasi chet karmanaste.
Jayasi chet karmanaste.
Mata buddhir janardhana.
Mata buddhir janardhana.
Tat kim karmani ghore mam.
Tat kim karmani ghore mam.
Niyojayasi keshava.
Niyojayasi keshava. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Jayasi chet karmanaste.
Jayasi chet karmanaste.
Mata buddhir janardhana.
Mata buddhir janardhana.
Tat kim karmani ghore mam.
Tat kim karmani ghore mam.
Niyojayasi keshava.
Niyojayasi keshava. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Jayasi chet karmanaste.
Jayasi chet karmanaste.
Mata buddhir janardhana.
Mata buddhir janardhana.
Tat kim karmani ghore mam.
Tat kim karmani ghore mam.
Niyojayasi keshava.
Niyojayasi keshava. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Jayasi chet karmanaste.
Jayasi chet karmanaste.
Mata buddhir janardhana.
Niyojayasi keshava.
Niyojayasi keshava.
Mata buddhir janardhana.
Tat kim karmani ghore mam.
Tat kim karmani ghore mam.
Niyojayasi keshava.
Niyojayasi keshava. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Jayasi chet karmanaste.
Jayasi chet karmanaste.
Mata buddhir janardhana.
Ta buddhir janardhana.
Tat kim karmani ghore mam.
Tat kim karmani ghore mam.
Niyojayasi keshava.
Niyojayasi keshava. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Jayasi chet karmanaste.
Jayasi chat karmanaste.
Mata buddhir janardhana.
Mata buddhir janardhana.
Tat kim karmani ghore mam.
Tat kim karmani ghore mam.
Niyojayasi keshava.
Niyojayasi keshava. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna.
Jayasi chet karmanaste.
Jayasi chet karmanaste.
Mata buddhir janardhana.
Mata buddhir janardhana.
Tat kim karmani ghore mam.
Tat kim karmani ghore mam.
Niyojayasi keshava.
Niyojayasi keshava. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Jayasi chet karmanaste.
Jayasi chet karmanaste.
Mata buddhir janardhana.
Mata buddhir janardhana.
Tat kim karmani ghore mam.
Tat kim karmani ghore mam.
Niyojayasi Keshava.
Niyojayasi Keshava. Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha
Jayasi Chet Karmanaste.
Jayasi Chet Karmanaste
Matta Buddhir Janardana.
Tabuddhir Janardana
Tatkim Karmani Kore Mam.
Tatkim Karmani Gore Mam
Niyojayasi Keshava.
Niyojayasi Keshava. Arjuna Uvacha
Arjuna Uvacha
Jayasi Chet Karmanaste
Jayasi Chet Karmanaste
Mata Buddhir Janardana
Mata Buddhir Janardana
Tatkim Karmani Gore Mam
Tatkim Karmani Gore Mam
Niyojayasi Keshava.
Niyojayasi Keshava. Arjuna Uvacha
Arjuna Vacha
Jayasi Chet Karmanaste
Jayasi Chit Karmanaste
Mata Buddhir Janardana
Mata Buddhir Janardana
Tatkim Karmani Gore Mam
Tatkim Karmani Gore Mam
Niyojayasi Keshava.
Niyojayasi Keshava. Arjuna Uvacha
Arjuna Vacha
Jayasi Chit Karmanaste
Jayasi Chet Karmanaste
Mata Buddhir Janardana
Mata Buddhir Janardana
Tatkim Karmani Gore Mam
Tatkim Karmani Gore Mam
Niyojayasi Keshava.
Niyojayasi Keshava. Arjuna Vacha
Arjuna Vacha
Jayasi Chet Karmanaste
Jayasi Chit Karmanaste
Mata Buddhir Janardana
Mata Buddhir Janardana
Tatkim Karmani Gore Mam
Tatkim Karmani Gore Mam
Niyojayasi Keshava.
Niyojayasi Keshava. Arjuna Vacha
Arjuna Vacha
Jayasi Chit Karmanaste
Jayasi Chet Karmanaste
Mata Buddhir Janardana
Mata Buddhir Janardana
Tatkim Karmani Gore Mam
Tatkim Karmani Gore Mam
Niyojayasi Keshava.
Niyojayasi Keshava. Arjuna Uvacha
Okay, I see everyone went, is it? All of you took the turns except Sharvi. Hey Sharvi, welcome to these classes. Okay. You want to repeat Sharvi after Amsha? Just try it out. I know first time it will be hard for anyone. We all have gone through that. So it's okay to make mistakes.
Okay.
Go ahead, Amsha.
Arjuna Uvacha
Arjuna Vacha
Jayasi Chet Karmanaste
Jayasi Chet Karmanaste
Mata Buddhir Janardana
Mata Buddhir Janardana
Tatkim Karmani Gore Mam
Tatkim Karmani Gore Mam
Niyojayasi Keshava.
Niyojayasi Keshava.
Awesome. You did a good job. You want to lead now? I'll repeat after you.
Okay. Arjuna Vacha
Arjuna Uvacha
Jayasi Chet Karmanaste
Jayasi Chet Karmanaste
Mata Buddhir Janardana
Mata Buddhir Janardana
Tatkim Karmani Gore Mam
Tatkim Karmani Ghore Mam
Niyojayasi Keshava.
Niyojayasi Keshava. All right, now we'll move on to the translation. So this is Arjuna is asking Krishna. What is he asking? Arjuna said, "Oh Janardana." Janardana is another name for Lord Krishna, one who is the protector of all human beings, all Janardana. Oh Keshava. We know what Keshava also means. Keshava means the killer of the Kesha demon, which is the horse demon. Remember, I think 2 days ago we had somebody talk about it in the Damodara Daily Delights presentation. So that's a horse demon. Krishna kills the horse by sticking his left hand, into the mouth of the demon that comes in the form of the horse. And therefore, to remember or commemorate that pastime, Krishna is popularly referred to as Keshava also. So he's asking, "Oh Janardana, oh Keshava, why do you want to engage me in this ghastly warfare?" Am I pronouncing it right, ghastly? Or is it something else?
I thought it was ghastly.
Ghastly?
Yeah.
GHAS. Is it ghastly? All right, thanks. Oh, Janardana, okay, Shiva. Why do you want to engage me in this ghastly warfare? Warfare is right. Why is it now war? Then it should be war, right? If it's gas, it should be war here, right? That's my question to y'all. Why is it not like that?
It's just how English works, Auntie.
Not English. American English works like that, not English.
There's an H there, right? Ghastly. So GHA.
Okay, then how do you pronounce GAS?
Gas.
That's the same as ghastly.
I don't know.
I keep questioning my sons the same thing. You know, whenever I pronounce wrong, they catch me. Then I say, okay, for example, FOOT is called foot, right? And what is FOOD called?
Auntie, that's what my dad does as well.
See? There. Okay, FOOT is foot and FOOD is food, right? Why is it food? We say food and they say, no, it's not food, it's food. Then I say, what is FOOT? It's food. Then why is it different in those two places? It's confusing for us because see, we grew up in India learning or pronouncing in one way and we pronounce it that way because that is the right way according to us. And then you all come and tell us these different things and that confuses us. Anyways, at least when I'm speaking in this class, I'll have to take your help because I need to not confuse you all. Okay. Oh, Janardana, okay, sure. Why do you want me to engage in this ghastly warfare? If you think that intelligence is better than fruitive work. So Krishna, based on the instructions that Krishna was giving, Arjuna is confused, apparent, right? Because he's confused and is asking, this is, when you engage in a war, it's bloodshed, right? It's going to be violent. I mean, you're going to be, if a war has to happen and it concludes with somebody being the winner, then that means the opposition party which has lost, many of them have lost their lives, which is ghastly, as Arjuna is mentioning. And then Krishna is thinking, you are asking me to use my intelligence and asking me to control my mind and not be distracted by external. Remember all those things he told. You have to be like a tortoise, withdraw your limbs and be careful about distractions and keep your mind controlled. Don't worry about distresses and happiness. Be equipoised and all those things you're asking, which is something to do more with your mind control and intelligence. And then why are you asking me to engage in this ghastly warfare? So Arjuna is confused, which is natural, right? We are reading it having known what the end of the story is, correct? That's why we are thinking, oh, we have to follow Krishna's instructions and all that. But Arjuna is actually playing that role there and he's in that situation. Therefore, he's asking that question. Isn't it a genuine question, or do you think, no, Arjuna shouldn't ask that question? What do you all think?
I think it's a question that anyone would have if they were told
Yeah.
this.
Right. And Sharvi, are you familiar with Bhagavad Gita and what Bhagavad Gita is, or who spoke Bhagavad Gita and when it was spoken and all?
I'm familiar with a little bit of it.
Okay. So to give you a background, Kauravas and Pandavas are from the same dynasty or for same family, but because they were children of two brothers, and one of the brother was unrighteous, who was a blind king to Dhritarashtra, and he had 100 sons who were together named as Kauravas, and there were 5 sons of Panduraj were called Pandavas, and eventually it led to a situation that Kauravas wouldn't give the land that is deserving for the Pandavas, which was rightfully deserving for the Pandavas, at least small villages for the Pandavas to rule. And it led to a situation, and they were not only greedy for being kings, but they're also unrighteous. They were doing so many atrocious activities. And a ruler or a king is supposed to be righteous and supposed to take care of the citizens well. So in that context, under the guidance of Krishna, who is the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Pandavas decide to engage in a war with the Kauravas so that they get their right over the land that they deserve. And when that war was about to start, which was described in the first chapter of this Bhagavad Gita, we are now in the 3rd chapter. In the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it was setting the scene as to who is in the who are in the two sides of the army, all the names of the kings and of the Kauravas, and the kings and warriors on the side of Pandavas, and how where they were positioned, how strong they were, and what were the different. They blew conch shells before beginning the war to signal the beginning of war. I don't know if wars which happen now between countries have rules like that, that we should blow horns or make some sounds or signal the opposition about beginning the war. I do not know. I'm not familiar because I've not really been, I don't have knowledge about army and how the navy and the army work when there is war. But anyways, that time the rule was they signal by blowing the conch shells, and that's also described. And they all blow the conch shells and they're ready. They're about to start the war. At that time, Arjuna asks Krishna. Now, Arjuna and Krishna are cousins. At the same time, Krishna chose to be the chariot driver of Arjuna. You all know, right? Sharvi, you know that in olden days, the war would happen by these heroes or the warriors going on chariots, holding the weapons that they are skillful at. For example, Arjuna was a great archer. So he had this bow and arrows in his quiver. And whereas Duryodhana was what? Not Duryodhana, Bhima. Bhima was a great, what? What is that called? That
Maze fighter.
Maze fighter and a wrestler too. So wherever they are skillful at, they carry those weapons and get on their chariots and go to the battlefield. So Arjuna was seated on his chariot, and Krishna willfully agreed to be the charioteer of Arjuna. Another great example of how Krishna serves his devotees. Right? Generally, we think that when we surrender to Krishna, oh, we are his servants, we are his slaves, and we always have to keep serving him. But it's not that type of servant master relationship with Krishna. When somebody surrenders to Krishna out of love, in fact, the person who surrenders becomes the master, as been portrayed by the relationship between Arjuna and Krishna in the war of Kurukshetra, where Krishna became the charioteer. And we all know how menial the position of a charioteer is. Did you all know that when you are the charioteer and when the warrior is sitting behind, and if he has to signal the charioteer to take right, amidst all the noise that is happening in the battlefield with various animals, with various with elephants and horses making those sounds, and all the warriors making noises, he can't tell, the warrior cannot tell the charioteer, can you take to the right, can you take to the left, and he will not have time to coordinate. So what he does, he uses his feet to signal, the foot to signal. If the foot hits on the right side of the right shoulder, it means go to the right. If the foot hits on the left side, it means take left. Just like we turn on the signals on the car, right? We do right signal. So that's how the charioteer gets the signal as to where he should be going. And that's the position that Krishna took, right? So Krishna, when we serve Krishna, unlike in material world, if you are a servant of somebody, they will not serve us, right? We all always have to be serving them. They might give us salary and maybe holiday gifts and all, but they will not serve us, correct? That position is like that. But with Krishna, it's completely different. When we serve with love, it's going to be more of we get served by Krishna many, many more times. Like Sudama also, when he went, like Preeti narrated that story, right? When he went to the palace, and what did he go with? He went with stale broken poha, chipped rice, stale, not even fresh ones. They were stale and all pieces, and all those he collected them, put them in an old cloth, and then he took them. And Krishna was so fond of that, and he ate it as if he was eating, I don't know, each one of us has our own favorite dish, right? Like that he was eating. And he rewarded Sudama when he went back home. He could not recognize his own wife, his children, his house. Everything was completely upside down because Krishna had rewarded him with so much more than what Sudama had given. Anyway, so that's the context in the battlefield. Arjuna was ready to start the war, but then he asked Krishna to take to the center of the battlefield to look at who has come to fight. And Arjuna at that time looks at all his cousins, his Guru Dronacharya, his grandfather, and he's now confused. He's thinking, why are all these people here? They are coming here to fight, and at the cost of my life, they want to enjoy being kings. And am I also here for the same reason? I'm trying to kill all these people and win and then enjoy a kingdom which is completely now bloodshed, and I'm going to be the king of such what is it, ghastly warfare, right? So that's the question Arjuna had in chapter 2, and he gives several reasons. I don't want to be the reason for the cause of death of so many people. And then Krishna instructs him, no, you are a Kshatriya, you have to do your duty, and you're not this body. You are the soul. This body anyways gets perished, whether you protect it, whether you kill them or now or not, they're anyways going to lose their lives. You have to do your job, you have to do your duty, because you are a Kshatriya and you have to protect righteousness. And as per your prescribed duty, you should be doing that. And he also talks about how we have to control mind, how we should not lose our focus just because of the external situations. We should be sticking to our goal and our endeavors, regardless of what's happening around. Anything that distracts us from our goal, we should give up. So all those instructions Krishna gives with beautiful examples. He gives example of analogy of, not analogy, I think it's a simile. That's what I understood based on what I talked with y'all. The simile of a lotus flower, I think he gives in second chapter. The simile of a tortoise. Then he also gives a simile of a boat that gets, what do you call the boat that gets blown away by a strong wind. Just like a single sense also can blow away the mind, which is distracted. And then after hearing to all those instructions, Arjuna is starting in this chapter asking the question, why are you confusing me, Krishna? You are telling me that I should not have, I should use my intelligence and behave accordingly. At the same time, you're asking me to again engage in this ghastly warfare. So can you explain to me what's going on and what I should be doing? He told in chapter 2, 7th verse that, please guide me and instruct me what to do, correct? But then when Krishna gave the instructions, of course, Krishna's instructions in second chapter were not go and do this, go and do that. He was just giving a generalized way of how to conduct oneself. And that's why Arjuna is asking, what should I do now? Am I boring you all? Are you all sure? Were you all listening? Okay, good. Let's go to the next verse. So this is continuation of Arjuna's question only, because it doesn't say Bhagavan Uvacha. It started with Arjuna Uvacha in verse 1, and it's continuing here without Bhagavan Uvacha, which means Arjuna is continuing to speak. Okay, now Preeti, repeat after me. Vyamishreneva vakyena.
Wait, did you say Vyanti?
You want to repeat after me?
Okay.
Vyamishreneva vakyena.
Vyamisheneva vakyena.
Mohaya Shiva. It's not Shiva, Siva. Buddhim mohaya Siva me.
Buddhim mohayasiva me.
Buddhim mohaya Siva me.
Buddhim mohayasiva me.
Tadekam vada nishchitya.
Tadekam vada nishchitya.
Yena shreyoham apnuyam.
Yena shreyoham apnuyam. Vyamisheneva vakyena.
Vyamishrevena vakyena.
Buddhim mohasiva me.
Buddhim mohayasiva me.
Mohaya Siva me.
Mohayasiva me. Okay. Tadekam vada nishchitya.
Tadekam vada nishchitya.
Yena shreyoham apnuyam.
Yena shreyoham apnuyam. Vyamishreneva vakyena.
Vyamishreneva vakyena.
Buddhim mohayasiva me.
Buddhim mohayasiva me.
Tadekam vada nishchitya.
Tadekam vada nishchitya.
Yena shreyoham apnuyam.
Yena shreyoham apnuyam. व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन
व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन
बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे
बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
येन श्रेयोऽहमाप्नुयाम्
येन श्रेयोऽहम् आप्नुयाम् व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन
व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन
बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे
बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
येन श्रेयोऽहम् आप्नुयाम्
येन श्रेयोऽहम् आप्नुयाम् व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन
व्यामिश्रेण वाक्येन
बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे
बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
येन श्रेयोऽहम् आप्नुयाम्
येन श्रेयोऽहमाप्नुयाम् व्यामिश्रेण वाक्येन
व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन
मोहसीव मे
बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
येन श्रेयोऽहमाप्नुयाम्
येन श्रेयोऽहम् आप्नुयाम् व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन
व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन
बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे
बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
येन श्रेयोऽहम् आप्नुयाम्
येन श्रेयोऽहम् आप्नुयाम् व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन
व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन
बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे
बुद्धिं मोहायसीव मे
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
येन श्रेयोऽहम् आप्नुयाम्
येन श्रेयोऽहमाप्नुयाम् व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन
व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन
बुद्धिं मोहायसीव मे
बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
येन श्रेयोऽहम् आप्नुयाम्
येन श्रेयोऽहम् आप्नुयाम् व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन
व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन
बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे
बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
येन श्रेयोऽहम् आप्नुयाम्
येन श्रेयोऽहम् आप्नुयाम् व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन
व्यामश्रेणेव वाक्येन
बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे
बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
येन श्रेयोऽहम् आप्नुयाम्
येन श्रेयोऽहम् आप्नुयाम् व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन
व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन
बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे
बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
येन श्रेयोऽहम् आप्नुयाम्
येन श्रेयोऽहमाप्नुयाम् व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन
व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन
बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे
बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
येन श्रेयोऽहमाप्नुयाम्
येन श्रेयोऽहमाप्नुयाम् व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन
व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन
बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे
बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
येन श्रेयोऽहम् आप्नुयाम्
येन श्रेयोऽहमाप्नुयाम् व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन.
Go ahead, Sharvi. Am I pronouncing your
I
name?
already went.
Already went? Oh, sorry. Who didn't go? Everyone went? Okay. Vyamishreneva vakyena
बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे
buddhim mohayasiva me
तदेकं वद निश्चित्य
tadekam vada nishchitya
येन श्रेयोऽहमाप्नुयाम्.
yena shreyoham apnuyam. Let's go to the translation. And Arjuna is continuing to say, my intelligence is bewildered by your equivocal instructions. Therefore, please tell me decisively which will be most beneficial for me. So did I pronounce the two words equivocal and decisively right?
I think it's equivocal.
Equivocal, okay. And then what about the other one?
And then decisively, I think you said that one right on too.
Decisively equivocal, okay. All right, so Arjuna is asking, why can you tell me by giving me equivocal instructions, meaning? No, he's actually confusing him. Equivocal means what? Where you are having, you cannot conclude anything from it, right? You're saying this and that. So what does that actually have to do? And that's what Arjuna is asking. And then therefore, can you decisively tell me what exactly I should be doing? And then is the next verse, Krishna going to talk. Can you see? Can you go to the next verse? Yes, that's where Krishna starts speaking. So now, what do you all think about Arjuna's questioning attitude? Do you all also ask like that in class when you have doubts or when you have questions or when you are not clear? Or you think that, oh, I'll figure it out later? You can stop sharing, Samanu. Or do you all think I'll figure it out later on my own? I don't want to ask because it might be embarrassing and I don't know if I'm asking the right question. Might be dumb for others. What do you all do in school?
It really depends. Like with some questions, I'll go ahead and ask. But if I feel like it's kind of easy, then I'll think to myself, I'll just figure this out myself later.
Oh, okay.
If I
And
think it's easy, I ask like a peer instead of like going to the teacher. If I think it's like a dumb question, but if it's like an actual question, then I like ask the teacher.
Yeah, usually what teachers do, they say ask members around you before you come to me.
Ask whom?
Members around you before you come to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
My teacher used to have a rule. It's like ask 3 before me. Like ask like 3 people before you like ask me.
Why does the teacher do that? Because she thinks that she's wasting her time?
No, it's because if everyone came up to her with questions, then she wouldn't be able to like plan the lessons for tomorrow or for like next week, and she wouldn't be able to actually grade all the papers and stuff. So, and sometimes she'll already have told us the answer, but we're only just going up to her because either we weren't listening or we weren't really understanding it properly. So like if people around you can answer the question, then that's good. If they can't, then you go up to the teacher.
My teacher has a rule of 3 questions per person a day. That's
I
the
thought
limit.
somebody said that, right? 3 before 1, somebody said that?
No, you can, no, my teacher said you can ask the teacher up to 3 questions, no more than that.
And what happens if you have more questions?
Then she'll say, go ask someone else.
Okay, that is not fair, I think. See, the other reasons that was told about ask others and come, and then because you might have missed listening when I told in the class, or others might already know the answer and then come to me, that is reasonable because she cannot plan her lessons if she's keep on inundated with questions. But if she says only 3 questions, then what if I asked everyone around and if I was listening to you attentively, but still I have a question, then that's not fair, is it? What do you all think?
I don't think
you have to get answers. The teacher is supposed to answer, correct? Okay. Okay, so even here, because Arjuna and Krishna were having one-on-one discussion, Arjuna was able to ask all his questions, and it was Krishna wanted to give this, have this discussion, so he answers all questions to Arjuna. And for us, we don't have Krishna directly to talk to us. So therefore, we take the help of acharyas, right? We, just like your teacher tells, ask 3 before coming to me. Similarly, we also, there is that practice here also, because we anyways cannot talk to Krishna directly. Of course, we can if we are elevated and if we have practiced and behaved or developed those qualities. But until then, we really need to ask acharyas or the mentors or people who are practicing what they're talking and who have better experience of all this path. So questioning is very important. There are questions, different types of questions that can be asked, right? The attitude of the questioner sometimes can be like, if you see, sometimes people are asking questions because they want to belittle you or because they don't believe in what you're talking, right? Have you come across scenarios like that? Especially if it is faith related discussions, right? Faith, or suppose you are going to be a vegan or you're going to support one type of belief, then people will ask questions because they want to challenge you, or one thing is to challenge you, other thing is to belittle you. Sometimes they're asking questions because they really want to know about it, right? And this is that is the same mood with which Arjuna is asking question to Krishna. He's asking because he really wants to know answers to his questions, because he wants to take on that path. He wants to follow the instructions, but there is difficulty in following the instructions because of not being able to understand what's being told. Just like if you're telling you have to be nice to people, you have to be tolerant, you have to be uh, giving charity, you have to love people, and all that information is being given. And then at the same time, here we're asking about fighting in a war where a lot of people are going to lose their lives, right? It is really a very critical position, what you call, what a precarious situation that Arjuna was in. And therefore, he was asking these questions, which is genuine. I mean, he has to ask, and without asking, if he makes any choices, then that might not lead to the right result. I mean, he was a warrior, he was a great warrior, he would have definitely won the war, but it is a consciousness with which he's fighting is also important, isn't it? Because Krishna is talking about what goes in the actions by mind, body, and words. So by way of being the greatest archer, being the favorite student of Dronacharya, Arjuna, if he had not asked all these questions to him, might have won the war, because he's a great warrior. And he's a devotee too, no doubt. But then in this whole process of this discussion between Krishna and Arjuna, what is happening? Krishna is giving the right mindset with which we have to approach the activities that we do. That's why it's karma yoga. That mindset is also important. So for all of us, we all are talented, we all are good at studies, we all are probably good at academics, extracurriculars that we are doing. But what Bhagavad Gita teaches us is the mindset with which we are doing it, having the right mindset. And that's where it comes into help for us. So anything else that we want to add or discuss on this verse? Otherwise, we have how much more time? We have 9 more minutes. Next 2 weeks, we are going to take break for Thanksgiving. So no classes. We will see again on December 5th. So please note that and remember that. Anything else you want to share about generally in Bhagavad Gita? And now are you all getting some clarity about what faith is or what spirituality is? Getting some clarity, or it's the same like before? If somebody asks you, or very soon you all are going to be young adults, right? 18 years old, or all. No, I don't think all of you are 18 yet, right? You're probably, yeah, you're going to be soon, maybe 3 years, 3.5 years, 1 year. Most of you are going to be young adults, right? And then what is the meaning of becoming an adult? Can you all help me understand what is the definition of being an adult in this country? Do you all know what it means to be a young adult or adult?
I guess when you can take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself. Okay, that's how does the government decide that 18-year-old or 21-year-old is an adult? How different is it for the government?
Well, I guess that's when you can do a lot of stuff. Like I know once you're 16, you can drive. Once you're 18, you can get like different licenses and stuff like that.
Yeah, and 18 is also like typically the years that people graduate high school and go to college, and so they get personal responsibility to stay away from their parents, so that classifies them as adults.
I feel like the government expects 21-year-olds to be like financially dependent on themselves.
Oh.
Probably. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
And also, at 18, you can legally vote, and voting is super important because that's when you gain the sense of what political stance you have. And in order to do that, you have to be a lot more mature. You have to gain a great understanding of the world around you. And so once you're 18, you're expected to take on political responsibilities as well.
Oh, nice points. Okay. So now once you all are 18 and you go away from home, or even if you're staying at home, regardless, you are called a young adult, that means you should also have the knowledge or should be equipped to make some choices with regards to the faith, or I don't know if we can use faith or religion, but let's use spirituality. Okay, that's better word term maybe, right? So you should have some freedom of exercising your life based on the spiritual values, right? That you have learned or you have formed in those 18 years of the formative years, whatever you have understood about spirituality. So do you all think there will be some impact as to how you will make choices in life, or how you will start being more, for example, at home, you're now under the guidance of your parents, right? So there are certain rules and regulations and habits that you're following. But after you move away from home, will you incorporate, if they're already following what is in Bhagavad Gita, you continue following them, okay? Or not Bhagavad Gita, but whatever favors spiritual path. Let's put it like that. Whatever favors spiritual path. Probably if you're already following at home, you'll continue, hopefully after going there too. Now, if you see that there are some more additions that you have to make on top of what your family has put, are you all ready to add those? And because now it's your control, right? When you go away from home, nobody's dictating you. It's your control, of course. You still are, you should not think that, oh, I don't have to be answerable to my parents and all. But no parent will say no to anything, any good choices that you make. Only bad choices they will say no, right? And all spiritually favorable choices are good choices, correct? So are you all having some, not many of you are graduating high school, only very few here. I think Rasagna, Anurag, Sonika, and who else? That's it, right? And Aishwarya. Sorry, Vaishnavi. That's it, right? Only 4 of you as of now graduating. So just think about it, how you want, because once whatever habits you make, because that's a milestone, right? Your transition also for you all. So when you make the right choices and try to inculcate good behavioral disciplining habits in your lifestyle when you are going away from home, that will last longer and that will really dictate the rest of your life. But if you think, no, I'm going to make my friends dictate what choices I make, I'll let my roommate decide what I should be doing because I'll do what he or she does, then that's not good, right? Basically what I'm trying to tell is do not go into peer pressure. Rather, you be very confident and very convinced with clarity about what you're doing. They say, oh, why do you do that? Then you yourself don't know why you're doing it. That is a very bad situation to be in, right? So have clarity about what you're doing and equip yourself with that clarity before you leave home. Otherwise, if you don't have clarity, then the society will tell you, you're not clear, just follow my path. Okay. So take nice 2 weeks break. I'm not really following up with you all about whether you're learning your verses or not. I leave it to you all because you all are, I mean, even if I tell you, if you don't want to learn or if you're not learning, that will not happen, but it'll only be like I'm nagging you all. But it will be nice if you all learn the verses and remember the meaning of those verses too. It'll also exercise your brain. It's good for the brain to vibrate with the Sanskrit verses that have been spoken by Krishna. It's a lot of benefit to our consciousness and our brain too. Just like you all maybe are doing workout, physical workout, but you should also do mental workout. Of course, you're doing academics related learning and all, but Bhagavad Gita learning is the best workout on top of all. Okay. So enjoy your Thanksgiving break. Be thankful, be grateful for everything, including the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, and come back after 2 weeks, which is on December 5th. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bye everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.